think everybody is muted.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. So welcome, guys. Welcome. We are so excited to have you talking. Have you here listening to us speak. I am Kat and this is Tracy. We are both leaders in our team and we are inspired to come and just have this chat with you guys tonight, let you know a little bit more about like this personal development journey that we've been on and how it has improved our mindset overall and what that's done for us in our business and our personal life and just growth in general, especially over this year of uncertainty and craziness. This like personal development has shockingly been one of the things that has helped me the most, I think, get through this, especially this last year. Some of you might be out east. I'm in Ontario, which is not in a great position right now. So I am grateful for having this positive mindset to guide me through and to help me crush my goals and not just let me falter. So I'm gonna start off with Tracy, and she's gonna talk about actually one of the first books that we both read that was like game changing for sure. Go for it, girl.
Okay, so I'm Tracy, for those of you guys that don't know me, and I'm on the East Coast, so we're a little more lenient in the area that we're in. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is, like I said, it's one of the very first personal growth, personal development books that I ever picked up. And like, let me tell you, like when I started doing personal development, like I honestly didn't think I needed it. It was kind of like a coach. Like when I signed up as a coach, it was really recommended. And I was like, okay, I'm a happy person. I haven't had like a lot of hard times in my life. Like I'm happy already. But you guys, it's one of those things that you don't know you need it until you're in it. So that's kind of like what my experience was. So the first book is those you might know this lady. Her name is Rachel Hollis. She's an entrepreneur. She's an author. She's a speaker. She has a podcast. So this book is called Girl Wash Your Face, and it's not specific to girls like specifically, but like it's amazing because one of the things that she really focuses on, especially in this book, is really about being afraid to fail and being afraid of what other people think. And that was something that was just like, boom, it just really hit hard with me because like, I don't know about you guys, like I feel a lot of us have a fear of failure, whether it's like, a fear of like, not being enough, or like not being a good enough like parent, or not being good enough at your job, or whatever your fear of failure is. And you know what that really is tied into is being afraid of what other people will think of you. That's what fear of failure is, because fear of failure is not really the fear of getting to the goal, like not reaching the goal. I think what we're really afraid of is what other people will think if we don't reach the goal. So that's really like ties into like, okay, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid of what other people will think. And I think a lot of us deal with that. So what I really learned in this book is just basically like, if you get to the end of your life and you worried about like those Karens or those Jims or whatever that you were afraid to like, like look bad in front of, or like, oh, what are they going to think of me? What is Jim from high school going to think? Or what is Karen at like the PTA going to think? When you get to the end of your life, Karen and Jim, they're not going to be around there. The only person that has to really live with your regrets and your like your things that you wish you would have done are you. So when you really think about like fear of failure, fear of what other people think, like you gotta kick that out of the way, man. Like it's just nobody, like it really, like nobody will care more about your goals than you. So it's a really inspiring book to like really get over the fear of what other people think. And that's one of the things that like I really, really enjoyed, was just kind of putting myself, especially as a coach, putting myself out there. Like, and like, yes, it was scary. Yes, I was like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think of me? Like, putting all my fitness journey out there, or all my, like, just sharing all these vulnerable parts about me. But you know what? Like, sometimes those are the stories that people need to hear, to know that they aren't alone. So yeah, that's Girl Wash Your Face.
Such
Rachel Hollis.
such a
Yeah.
good one. I love, like, one of her lines is like, other people's opinions are none of your business. And that is so fucking true. Sorry. Oh, and it didn't take long. Sorry. It is so true, but like, are they paying your bills at the end of the day? Are the other people going to pay your bills? No. You need to do what's right for you. And whatever your inspiration is, whatever has brought you here, like, it's for a reason, and you need to take that reason and run with it. So I am actually going to be talking about the 5-second rule. And for me, the 5-second rule was probably after after Rachel Hollis. But it was a game changer for me, in the fact that it talks to you about motivation, and about how it's not about motivation. It's not about being motivated to get up to work out every day. It's not about being excited to do that, or to go to work, or to have your own business. It's about the discipline. So you commit to this journey, and when in doing that, um, you're going to build these habits and become disciplined in the action of working out. So every now and then, you're not going to get up and want to work on your business or want to work out, but you have that mindset for that discipline. So she talks about how to get out of that. She teaches her rule. It's called the 5-second rule. And it's basically like, you count from 5 down to 1. And when you get to 1, you get up and you do whatever it is that had come into your mind. So the alarm goes off in the morning, and you hear the alarm, you turn it off, and you go, oh, I really should get up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You roll your ass out of bed and you get going. Like, it takes that, it takes that stress of giving yourself a minute to doubt yourself. It takes that out. So you don't give yourself the opportunity to go, I stayed up a little too late last night, I'm just gonna sleep through this one. No, you're getting up. You count, and up you get. And for me, that was a huge game changer, just to get up and start my mornings a little bit earlier. It is so nice being in this pandemic life, to have 5 minutes alone in my house. So getting up early for me is like huge for my mindset. It's huge for my soul. It helps me heal from whatever is happening. And it just gives me that time to get clear and to focus on what I want in my future. And when you have your goals laid out for you, and you know what you want and why, it makes it so much easier to push. So much easier. Um, so that one is mine. This one I had on Audible. So the cool thing is about a lot of these personal development books is it's whatever fits your lifestyle. So if you're one that loves to sit down with a book and really dig through it, and some people highlight it, like, I don't know how that is even a thing, but that would make me like twitch. But highlight it, mark it up, put your foldies on the corners, put your post-it notes in it to flag parts that you really like to come back to. And then some people have it on audiobook. So a lot of times, you might feel like you're too busy, and it's hard to find the time to commit to, oh, just like another, like, I don't have time to read a book. I got this. Audible or podcasts are amazing for that because you can listen while you do whatever you're doing. So while you're going for a drive to the grocery store, while you're in the grocery store, while you're making dinner for the family, you're able to listen and immerse yourself in these things while multitasking and supporting the household or your family as you go. So on that note, podcasts are really great because they're a free resource and there are an insane amount of self-help, personal development, leadership, motivation podcasts available. And Tracy has one that she is really falling in love with. And the funny thing is when we were talking about these, she said the girl's name, and I was like, I don't think I've heard of that one. I'll have to look it up. And then at the same time, I was thinking, oh, but I really like this podcast called Empower Her. Like maybe we could talk about that podcast. Well, isn't it the same?
It was the same podcast. Great minds think
I was
alike.
referencing the brand and she was referencing the actual author. So let me tell us a little bit more about Keisha Fitzgerald.
Okay. So she is amazing. I actually just started getting into her podcast maybe like a month ago. I follow her on Instagram. She just has this light and this energy. And she just like radiates like self-love, like love and belief. Like you feel like you guys could be best friends. So her podcast is mainly, like I said, it's mainly about like self-love and like self-belief and just basically giving you that extra push to go after the things you want. Because we talked about fear and we talked about like kind of getting the discipline to like kind of instill that, but this is where we come into the belief. Because when we are in it, when we decide to go for that thing, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard no matter whatever your thing is, because if you're doing something new, chances are you're not going to be amazing at it right away, because you're there to learn something. You're there to grow. You're there to kind of expand yourself. Of course, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Of course, it's going to feel, odd and different, but that's where the growth comes in. So her podcast is really all about just getting that inner belief in you and just realizing that it's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to kind of like, suck at things at first, but that doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean that, like, we all heard this, like when the going gets tough, the tough get go, or I don't even know how to finish that one, but you know what I mean? When it gets tough, you keep going. So she really talks about getting out of your comfort zone. And sometimes when we get out of our comfort zone, we get that moment of like, oh my gosh, like I'm really inexperienced in this. I'm really like, I don't know a lot about, like, this is uncharted waters. Like, I don't really know. And we confuse inexperience with inability. Those are two separate things. Of course, we're learning something new because that's what we're here to do. We're here to grow. We're here to expand. And of course, you're going to be experienced, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. Okay. It just means that it's an opportunity for you to learn and get better. Okay. So next time you're going for something, or you're trying out something new, and you have that feeling of like that you're not good enough, that you like, oh, can I do this? I'm not really as like qualified. No, you just haven't like learned how to do it yet. So she really kind of focuses on that. You need to learn. You need to allow yourself to learn and to grow, because that's how we learn and we grow. We grow, right? Things are going to be hard. Things are going to be hard, but those things, you can look at those things in two ways. This is an obstacle. I'm going to stop. This is an obstacle or an opportunity for me to learn and overcome it and have something that I can like have under my belt and be proud of. And that's like, you can look back and be like, I just did that hard thing. Like, and then you're going to think to yourself, why stop here? Let's see what more I can do. Let's see how far I can go. So that's what her like whole podcast is about, just creating that self-belief, reminding you that, you know, you are more, like you have things in you that, you know, whatever your dreams are, it's okay to go after them and to suck at them. You know, it's okay, because that's where you grow. That's where you learn. That's like the beauty of where you learn about yourself and you learn what you're good at and like what your passions are. So you don't know until you try. So that's what I love about her. Her podcast is amazing. Go follow her on Instagram, Keisha Fitzgerald, or her podcast, Empower Her. I'll type it in here for you guys as well.
I already did.
Oh, perfect. So Kat, you're going to talk about, okay, so this is a book that I actually had on Audible, because like you said, I listen to a lot of my books and podcasts in the car because I'm a busy mama. You know, I don't have a lot of time to read. So this book that Kat's going to talk about, this is definitely a book you want on Audible, because for me, like the guy's energy and voice, it's like, bam, it's like you have to step back when you're listening to it. So tell us about the book, Kat.
Okay, so the book is called The 10X Rule. And as I was thinking about how we divided this up today, I'm like, how interesting is it that I'm speaking about the 5-second rule and the 10X rule? So apparently I'm super into rules, not true, but apparently I am. So I thought, very interesting. But Grant Cardone is the author of this book. And this guy, to refer to him as aggressive might be selling him a little bit short. The Audible is definitely where it's at to hear his tone and his passion, but it really is a lot about passion, and it's about being driven and being focused and doing the things that matter, doing the business building activities. When you want to build your business, no matter what kind of business it is, you need to focus on the things that are going to build it and grow, and not the fluff. Making content, making pretty pictures, doing that kind of like the fun stuff is great, but doing the things that will get you results is really where it matters. And you can put all of the sparkles and all of the filters on a photo all day long, but if you're not talking to anybody about what you're doing and why it's important to you and why it can change their life, it's not going to go anywhere. So for me, this book was super important, and I find it is to each their own in these kind of topics, because he is very much, you need to level up, you need to get done, you're not getting the results that you want, do more. Right? So you want to get further, push harder, and exactly, go big or go home. So he really digs in to leadership and how to inspire your team so that you're not the one, so you're not scraping constantly to be successful. You're all working together to grow together, and then having a passion for what you're doing. And like, honestly, if you're not passionate about what you're planning on spending your life doing, something needs to change. There is more to life than daily grind. I have never felt so positive about a Monday morning since this business, because Monday is a fresh start to the week. And it may for some be, oh, back to work today. But for me, it is a fresh start with the ability to talk to as many people as possible, inspire and motivate, and just make people happy, right? And allow people to find that happiness inside them too, which makes it so much bigger. And then lastly, the fact that success requires effort. Nobody gets anywhere without doing anything, right? You need to work for what you want. And he really talks about when you are your own boss, you need to set guidelines or time frames and stick to them, right? And it's not one of those things that you can pop in and out of. You want to stay focused. So I really, I don't know, the crazy thing is it's like this guy, and we have a trainer in our workout system who will yell and swear at you. Like, I don't know what it is, but I really need that aggression sometimes to just tell me, like, get it fucking done. Like, what is going on? So I really enjoyed this book. Might not be for everybody, but I found that I got a lot more push out of it and a lot more vision on what I really want and what's really possible for me. So with that,
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, like you're yes, like you just nailed his energy for sure. Yeah. It's just like a tell it like it is. And sometimes that's what people like,
yes,
like
yes,
no BS, like, if
yeah.
this is what you want, you need to do this.
He drives my husband nuts. Like when Rob hears me listening to the podcast, he's just like, "What is this shit? Like, I can't handle this guy. He's too much." And I'm like, "It's because you don't know." It's so good. Now, lastly, the last book we wanted to talk about is one that we both have the paper copy actually.
Mhm. Da, da, da.
This one's huge. It actually was written by a top business builder in our company, which is crazy. And he talks about how to build and be able to build in a sustainable way, which I think is really great. Hey.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's really short. So it's if you can't see, it's called Built to Last by Keith Callahan. And he actually, we both like, I don't know if you got this book during the pandemic when he was sending them out for free.
No,
Yeah.
I bought my book.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
like,
they're
because during
not
the
expensive.
pandemic, he was like, he would just wanted to help people. And that's one of the great things I loved about him. He was like, just don't even pay for the book, just pay for the shipping.
Mhm.
So a lot of us just got the book. And when I read it, because it's very short and it's such an easy read too, because it's just like, wow, like I probably read this in like 2 days.
It's
Like,
inspiring.
yeah.
Mhm.
Excuse me. So it's broken up into kind of like chapters. The first one is like personal leadership. So really kind of finding that, like we talked about earlier, like kind of like getting over your fears, owning that self-belief, and just kind of being that confident person in yourself, and then taking that to become a leader in whatever leadership looks like for you, whether that's a leader in your group, whether that's a leader in your business, a leader to your peers or your life or whatever. Like, and the cool thing is a quote. It's like the function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers. A true leader is not like, a hey, come look at me, come look at me. Like, that's especially in our business too, like as coaches. Like it's not about like come look at me. It's about come do this with me. Let's like do this together. Let's lead together. So I just found that really interesting. And then there was another section. I have it all like marked. I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. And then there was what is it? Where is it? Oh, okay. Another great quality that he talked about is leaving a legacy. So you'll hear like a lot of books like this talk about your why. Like what wakes you up in the morning? What is that driving force in you to go after, like, to go after that job or to try this new thing or whatever. Like it really comes down to why, like leaving a legacy. And leaving a legacy is about making life better for those who follow you than it was for you. So just showing people how to live a better life that they've ever dreamed of possible. So that's a really cool thing. Like, because sometimes we think of leaders as just like okay, like just like watch them and follow them and, just kind of let them do their thing. No, a leader is just really like about inspiring others to come and do this with us. You know what I mean? To be a leader as well, to be side by side and linking arms and doing it together. So I really liked that. That was one thing, that was a big chapter in his book, was just kind of like, being a person, being your own personal leader and leaving a legacy. Like, just kind of inspiring as many people and helping as many people and showing as many people what's possible, how to like, what be that their best self, and how to inspire even more people to do the same. And that is like the main thing we do as coaches. Like if you see me, if you follow me or Kat, like that's all we do, is just in like share our journeys to inspire others to like, get fit or get healthy or like make better life choices or just like, whatever.
Get out of
So.
debt.
Yeah.
So much value, honestly, from all 5 of these topics for me. When I started coaching as well, I totally like foo-fooed the PD. I don't need no personal development. I don't need I am a normal person and I am sane and I am good to go. I don't need no personal development. And what I found was I had so much insecurity that I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah,
And
same.
and it came out in like jealousy or envy or judgment, and not appreciation and love and support. And the thing is that when you are helping and inspiring and supporting other people, you need that. You need to lean in on positive forces. You need to fill your cup. You cannot fill someone else's if yours is empty. And even your family base, right? Like you can't help and support and love and not flip out at the smallest thing on your family if you're all tied up and wired, for a moment and not able to release that or gain an understanding of how and why you were feeling that way.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't give it a chance right away, but once I did, I absolutely fell in love and I understood the purpose of it.
Mhm.
Like knowing that, like it's like there's like an airplane analogy, right? Like you got to put your mask on before you can put the mask on the person beside you,
Mm.
right? Like you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. And
Yeah.
for me, personal development has been a huge part of that, and just really growing and learning and understanding that what other people's choices are have no effect on me. And for me, what matters is what I'm doing. So, for instance, with this pandemic, I could let myself get all amped up and stressed out and worried and concerned about what is happening out there. But instead, I know that I am doing what I can to keep myself and my family and the people that I'm surrounded by safe. And that's all that matters. I'm doing what I can do, and that's what matters. So,
Mhm.
that being said, um, I a lot of this has been what has led into my success in my business. So, being able to have that understanding of myself and for other people has really, in this last year, even more so over my whole journey, opened up this like whole new world, I would say, of ability to help love on and support people and grow. And that's why I love coaching so much, because I never would have started personal development without coaching. Never. And so for me, that's a huge part.
Oh yes. Oh, definitely. Like I'm the same as you. Like, I never ever picked up a personal development book, like never really like thought I needed it until like Allie, like my upline coach, she was like, hey, it's recommended. You don't have to do it, but I think it'll really help, especially in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like we talked about the fear of failure, fear of what other people think. Like, what it really helped in that sense. But then once I got kind of over that fear of failure, then I just got this newfound confidence where I just like I didn't care about what anybody think. I was just going to focus on what makes me happy,
Mhm.
because when you focus on what's in your heart and what makes you happy, it's so liberating. It's so liberating because you don't care about what anybody else thinks.
Yeah.
Anybody else thinks. And that's one of the great things about like this whole like coaching and like doing personal development, is that I am like the best version of myself. Like, I am the most truest person of myself, because I just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me,
Mhm.
because and I'm so happy about it. And if anything, like that energy has really filtered down into my sisters. It really is filtered into my husband, my family, like the people that I'm connecting with, like, you know, in my boot camp, or like, you know, it just passes down and filters down into every other person that you're connected with. So it's not just about like personal development for you. You become the best version of yourself, and that inspires your close ones or your loved ones to kind of like, you know, be the best person that they can be, I guess we'll
Yeah. And
say.
it's so cool because like, well, and we both have daughters, and like for me, it's so important for me to teach my daughter as she's growing to have this self-love for herself and
Mm.
belief in herself. And she rocks it already. At like 5.5, she could be my next coach at this point. But and that's an amazing part though, because she didn't see me as a happy, confident mom before, right? Like before I joined in on this, I was not.
Yeah.
And so she has been able to grow with me growing as a person too. And so I'm really grateful for that, for her to have that ability to see that,
To watch the growth.
Mhm, mhm.
Mm.
And to
That's
see
amazing.
that what's important in life.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, with that being said, I know that there are some of you here that have goals related to maybe other businesses or other like other self-employment dreams that you might have or whatnot. But we do want to let you know that we are starting, Tracy and I are teaming up with another leader on our team and running a coach academy. It's starting on the 5th, so on Monday.
Starting
And
on Monday.
it's really going to be like a step-by-step walkthrough, like how do you get started, coach announcement support, like all kinds of stuff. And we're going to hold your hand all the way through the training and get you set up right from the start and get you excited and amped. And so if you are ready to jump in on that, you do need to reach out to the coach who provided this link to you, and they will definitely give you more info for that. But it's going to be an awesome 2 weeks of just like, let's get you set up, let's get you set for success and seeing success right off the hop. So,
Yeah.
uh, now Tracy, I know you have a little final word.
I do. So it's just really cool, because like we wanted to kind of mention this at the end, because like it's just so cool, because personal development and personal growth and mindset has really like made us thrive in what we're doing as coaches. I feel like it's like I would not be the person I am today. I would not be the coach I am today if I wasn't doing this stuff, because I'm overcoming my fear of failure. I'm like learning to be more disciplined, because like I just jumped in. No, I didn't know all this stuff until after I decided to be a coach. This is the kind of thing that you just learn as you go. And you will hear so many people on the team say, like, you just do it and you learn as you go. And, and everybody's here, like me, Kat, everybody is here to like Kat said, to hold your hand, to kind of like be there for you and be like, yep, I remember when I was in the beginning stages too. I feel you, I relate. Like, you know what I mean? You're never alone. And that's one of the great things I love about this community is your tribe attracts your vibe. Or wait, what's your vibe attracts your tribe? I think that's what it is. Yeah. The people that are that you have surrounding you make you who you are. So if you're constantly surrounded by people that are supporting you, that are encouraging you, like if you are in a boot camp already, imagine the coach team, that support 10x that. Like I just quoted the book, but it's just like a whole other big thing. So like, don't, like we talked about earlier, whatever your goals is, even if this is like something you want to do and you're like, yes, or maybe you're kind of a little timid, you're like, I don't know, I've kind of thought about it, but I'm kind of scared. Think of what we all talked about tonight, overcoming the fear of failure. What are you really afraid of? Are you afraid of what other people think? Are you afraid of failing in front of other people? Should you really let other people's opinions hold you back from like what you really want to do, what you really want to try? And we talked about that self-belief stuff, you know what I mean? Like when you get to like the end of your life, do you want to be filled with all these shoulda, woulda, couldas? Like, oh, I should have started that business. Oh, I should have like picked up that hobby. I should have like, called this person or whatever. Like, no, don't get to the end of your life and have all of these regrets. Think about getting to the end of your life and being like, wow, I just did everything that was in my heart. I went for those goals. I went for those dreams. Maybe some of them were like successes. Maybe some of them weren't as successful, but you will look back and know that you tried. And that's better than not trying at all. So that's my final word. Like, go what's in your heart, you guys. If there is something in your heart that's dying to come out, it is there for a reason. The universe, God, whatever, it is there for a reason. You owe it to yourself to at least give it a shot. And if you're struggling with some belief, girl, like boy, like try, like borrow some belief from us. Like this is what our team is all about. Encouraging each other, supporting each other. This is something that I don't know, like it's just something that is so special and you feel like you're just making the world a better place. So you don't know until you try. And that's all I'm going to say. But
yes. Yes. Now I know I'm trying to respect everybody's time too, because we're at, it's 8:15, but I wanted to just give you guys an opportunity. If anyone wanted to ask a question, you can either drop it in the chat or unmute yourself.
Any questions about anything? Maybe some of the books, some of the topics that we touched on. Nope, everyone's like, oh,
so shy, and that's totally fine too. So reach out to your person if you have any questions, if you need any of the names again of any of the books, but they've all been game changers for us. So whatever it is that you are pushing for or building goals for, you got this, and you just need to grab the bull by the horns and get some shit done.
That was Grant Cardone.
All right, you guys have an awesome night.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Here you go. Freedom.